Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tips and Bricks podcast, where we discuss all things Lego and share some of the community's best tips about those bricks we all love. My name is Bethany. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm one of the hosts on our podcast. Today, I'm joined by my fellow co host, Clay. Clay, how are you?
I am living the dream. I'm so excited to get back into these and talking to some people about Lego. I mean, we talk in Discord all the time, but it's different like when you actually get to hear someone and see them. So very excited for
And
this today.
I'm so glad you said get to see you because this season we're doing something new. If you head to YouTube, you will actually be able to see us and our faces discuss live. So if you would like to watch along, you can find us on YouTube for this season. Well, every week we are joined by a special guest from the Lego community, and this week we welcome an incredibly talented mock builder. Adnan is known for his popular Instagram account that I am not even going to try to pronounce. I will let him try to pronounce this to say that in a moment. But Adnan turns iconic album covers into gorgeous digital Lego mosaics. Adnan is also a member of our Tips and Bricks team. So, Adnan, welcome to the podcast, and please help me learn how to pronounce your Instagram handle.
Thank you so much. Well, I don't try not to pronounce it myself. I just say UVUPV and spell it out, and that's usually the better way to go about it. But hi everyone, my name's Adnan, and my pronouns are he, him, and yeah, I run the Instagram account UVUPV and make music into Lego.
Well, since this is your first time on our podcast, we'd love to
Mhm.
ask you our signature question to get to know you a little bit better. So, the Lego hobby can mean many things to many people, everything from showing at a convention to building a set with a friend, mocking with your own collection, collecting and displaying minifigures. So, when thinking about your experience with the Lego hobby, we'd love to know what is your favorite part of the Lego hobby?
I mean, that is an impossible question, I feel, to answer because I just love a lot of things about Lego, and I feel
Yeah.
it deserves a place in no matter what season and no matter what mood. There's a
Mm,
way to kind of engage with Lego that'll be beneficial. But if I had to name one thing, I would say, the community that I've discovered since I rejoined Lego as an AFOL has been really incredible. It's not only been very affirming in terms of my own work, but it's really nice to, um, for lack of a better word, geek out with my fellow Tips and Bricks people. It's nice to know that I found my people in the world, and it's, people who can relate to little things like, oh my God, they just released a new part, to, oh, they've just remade that set. So yeah, I would say the community has been fantastic, and it's really something I
mm.
would miss if it ever went away for whatever reason.
Yeah. I also love, even within our team, when like everything you've mentioned, we definitely do, but also when one of us sees something in the wild, I feel like Evo especially will be like, "Hey, I saw this building today and it reminded me of a Lego set or a specific Lego part." So I love our community as well, and like that excitement of running back to share with one another, like, "Hey, look what I just saw or found." So yeah,
Totally.
great answer.
Well, it is time now for us to move into our first segment. Now, in season two, we're going to be shaking things up a little bit in our order of doing things. So, Clay, I'm going to let you take it from here.
Yeah, and this season we always talk about everything, sets, bricks, community, hobbies, every element under the sun. But one thing that we're going to focus a lot on this season is techniques. And that's the heart of our tips and bricks content, what we talk about every day. Even when we're doing a set review, we're always talking about the
Mm.
techniques that go into building that. So in this segment, we're especially discussing mock building techniques that are kind of highlighted or spotlighted by whoever our guest may be. And as Bethany already mentioned at the start, Adnan, you make some amazing album covers, specifically in studio
Mhm.
that you release. You do a new one every single day, correct?
Yep, it's been a daily routine for quite a while, unless I'm out of town. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah.
That's
If
that's a
y'all
lot.
aren't following them, I mean, there's so many. And even preparing for this episode, I was like, I know there was one that I wanted to mention, and I was going back to look at it, and then just got lost in the feed, just like looking at your album covers forever again. But you use incredible MPU, nice parts usage, of course, and you pack it all into a 24 by 24 um frame, I suppose. And that's how you have to recreate everything, which I think is also amazing because no matter the detail or lettering or whatever it is, you're having to recreate at that specific scale. So you want to walk us through a little bit of that? Like, how'd you decide to start making this series of album covers, and even, why studio as opposed to perhaps physical bricks instead?
Sure. So for me, this particular project really started when I was idly wondering if I could recreate Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon in Lego. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the album, there is a rainbow being formed out of a prism, which has these very specific angled colors in it. And I was aware that Lego produced wedge plates that had different angles, and I thought, well, I don't have any in my own collection, but apparently on Studio you can create whatever piece you want in whichever color you want. And when I started fiddling around with it, I realized, well, okay, I can kind of create this pattern, and that was really the beginning of a journey that now has gone on for 4 years and has spawned over
Wow.
almost 900 album covers at this point. It's really just kind of coincidence that I started with the one album that really forced me to get creative with how I use the Lego
Hmm.
pieces in studio. And it also forced me to look for an opportunity beyond whatever pieces I had in my own collection. And
Hmm.
that limitation is really what drew me towards studio, is when I realized, well, I can create uh, any colors that I want and make pieces that may not exist yet into elements in my work. And
Mm.
Lego's always creating new pieces and
Hmm.
releasing new recolors. So I feel it's only a matter of time before we will actually be able to hopefully create all of these in real life as well. But for the time being, yeah, it's all been
Mm.
on studio.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of limitations, I'm curious why 24 by 24 studs instead of like the standard 32 by 32?
Hmm.
Right. So initially, I was actually working with a 28 by 28 stud grid.
Oh.
At some point along the line, I think I just found the 24 by 24 grid to be a little bit more quick than doing it at a larger scale. I had
Mm.
kind of not really realized at that point that I would be creating one a day, but once I did start creating one a day, I really wanted to make it as efficient as possible and
Mm.
not not challenge myself too much to try and fill up a larger space. And that's really what drew me to the 24 by 24 grid. Um, it's also just a matter of efficiency, I suppose, because I tend to grid out my work before I start. And
Hmm.
this is an easy grid that is divisible by lots of numbers. So when
Mm.
I need to compare proportions, it's a little bit easier to do the math in my head and figure out, okay, this is how it's going to work.
Oh, that is so smart. I'm sure gridding it out is probably how you have to really select a lot of those details that you either choose to include or that you perhaps might exclude just based on the scale. One of my favorite ways that you use parts is with blades as hair. There's a Sabrina Carpenter album cover. That's one of the ones that I've loved because of the different color variations in the hair as well. And I know like when I build with physical bricks, I often am inspired like when I find a specific one, like, oh, let me see how to use that. But thinking in terms of studio, like how do you envision that? Do you already have like this is the type of parts I'll use or the specific part? Like how do you find that inspiration when you're building virtually?
Right. I think at this point, now that I've had a lot more experience with it, I have a certain kind of palette of pieces that I kind of will turn to as a default.
Mm.
That
Mm,
includes these wedge plates, for example, that I started using right in the beginning. They've become this integral part of my repertoire, and I use them to try and reproduce shapes of all sizes. And anytime I need to make a circle, of which unfortunately a lot of record covers have swooping lines. I kind of turned to
yeah.
those particular elements. And blades really came out of necessity as well. There are so few
Hmm.
pieces out there that are um, curved and thin because obviously Lego doesn't
Mm.
want to create choking hazards. So
Mm,
a very few pieces fit the bill when it comes to reproducing very thin lines, very thin curves, and blades really formed uh, the basis for what I could find on studio to make those lines happen. And line work in general, I feel, is just is very difficult for me. But with blades, certain vines and plant pieces,
Mm.
there's opportunities and more now than ever before to create these very detailed line work pieces.
I'm super curious. When you sit down to build, are you like doing this every night? Are you doing them in batches, kind of a combination of both? Like what's your game plan for when you're sitting down to make these techniques and builds?
Well, at this point, the system is I try and create one a day. I try and dedicate the day to an
Wow.
album. And so I will listen to the album, I'll study the cover, I'll try and do some research and learn, a little bit about it. And just engaging with the music in that way, it's kind of like the opposite of active listening, I suppose. I just have it on while I'm doing all these completely unrelated things and then try and bring it together somehow into a form where hopefully I'm paying homage to the artist and uh, learning a little bit about studio and refining my technique in the process. But yeah, it's a daily ritual at this point. I try and get it done in the morning so I have the rest of the day for other projects, but we all know how it is. Once in a
Yeah.
while, uh, a design will fight you and you kind of will twiddle and tweak, and it might go on until 8 o'clock in the morning. And then, usually I post at 8:50. So it's a very short window to correct things,
You
but
you
it will
even give
happen.
yourself a time deadline? You're
Oh,
amazing.
sure.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
goodness.
Wow.
I figured, I love starting the day with music, and if I can
Mm,
throw something up at 8:50 in the morning, then just when you get to work on Monday and it's maybe the low point of your week, you have some nice music to cheer you up.
that is
Oh,
so
I love
cool.
it.
I love that.
I'm sure that the Pink Floyd one holds like a special place in your heart, but beyond that, do you have a favorite or like one that you always think of or goes back for you?
Um, Again, I find it really difficult to pick favorites,
Yeah.
but I will say the one that stands out the most to me still to this day is I made the album cover of an album by Glenn Danzig, and it uses only, well, not only, but almost exclusively Bionicle parts.
Oh, wow.
The
Oh,
cover is this just a very, very plain, it's black and it's got this white skull on it, but all the pieces that I chose, I noticed the shapes in the skull really were almost exactly what certain Bionicle pieces were, and they have these very uneven edges and very unusual
Hmm.
texture. So it really replicated the album cover, which was a comic book illustration, quite well. And I was really happy with that. I was loving just the 3D effect that you can get with Bionicle pieces because of their inherent texture and also the weird shapes that I was able to get from that album cover. It was one that really stood out to me, and I've never actually gone back and tried another Bionicle cover since then. So
Oh,
it's
do they
also
interesting.
very, very unique. Yeah.
do
Yeah.
they have Bionicle in studio or did you have to like import parts?
No, no. I really try and restrict myself 100% to whatever's on studio. So even if
Wow.
there are new pieces that I know may exist, but they're not yet on studio, I will, hold off on using them essentially until they're uploaded. And
Mm.
it's very aggravating at this point because I'm waiting for all these new Harry Potter wands to come onto the platform,
Oh, those will be useful.
and they will be extremely useful for
Yeah.
certain things. But
Awesome.
yeah, I try and stick to studio.
Now, I know sometimes when you're building in studio, you can like set something way above the ground, and so it looks like it's floating, but when you look straight down at it, it looks like it's on there. Are your techniques, I'm not going to say all proper because you can stretch boundaries and stuff, although studio yells at you and makes things disappear if you're right, if you're trying to do certain things. But is your stuff like all together, or do you tend to stack and layer it for optical illusion?
Um,
Not that
Great
there's anything
question.
wrong either way.
Yeah, I really I did struggle with that for a short while because I was very conflicted. Well, if I'm using it in this kind of abstract way and designing using the software as opposed to trying to build something in real life, I was tempted to cut corners every once in a while and not provide like a foundation for certain things. So if they were in real life, they might fall apart. But when I got to, I think it was Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms, which has like kind of guitar floating above the frame of the album cover.
Mhm.
And I considered just having a guitar floating there, and I realized, no, I'm gonna sit down and work out this would be possible to be built in real life. So it is floating, but it also has a structure that could potentially be built for real. So yeah, I made a decision at some point that everything was going to be connected, everything would be
Wow.
physically built, and nothing should be just kind of floating. Every once in a while, yes, I will bend the rules slightly, but I hope those AFOLs who are paying it very close attention will forgive a few instances of uh, tiles that have been placed rather than attached. I think that's about as far as I'll go. But yeah, everything's hopefully attached. Everything's
Wow.
hopefully works for real. And I think I'm still very curious about what you mentioned, Bethany, this idea of just kind of layering things in space almost and seeing how those could create different kinds of effects, especially when you have a part that is just slightly too small or too big for what you want to use it for. You can kind of bring it closer to the viewer and change the scale of it. So yeah, I'm still curious about using that technique, but I don't use it in my own work anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any artists reach out to you or like comment? Like, do you tag them, or are you just like over here stealthily behind the scenes making masterpieces every single day?
Well, I very much consider my work to fall into this gamut of fan art, and for me, the greatest acknowledgement is when the artist does mention or reshare or just say something. It's been a very mixed bag, I would say, with some artists being very positive and you know other artists like even if they just mention something on Instagram, I'm very thrilled about that. But I've been lucky enough to have more engagement with a few artists here and there who have shared their work with me. I've shared my work with them. They've done requests before. People have requested, "Can you do this album of ours?" And I find that relationship also really thrilling because I'm doing this because I'm a big music buff. There's nothing greater than having the musicians reach out and say hello.
Awesome. Well, for those of y'all listening who have not followed Anon, go out there and do it. Go scour through. You said it was how many hundreds now? Did you say
It's
900?
it's 899 as of last week. So yeah, we're
Wow.
we're coming up to 1,000.
So yeah, you have hundreds
Wow.
of album covers to scroll through. Some of your favorites have to be there. So like them, comment, throw some love at some of those. And also for those of y'all who, are still like a little wary of studio, I encourage y'all to play around with it. I am still getting my feet wet in it, especially with the help of our studio series, which has a lot of useful shortcuts and ways to like make the tool work more for you. So play around with Studio, and also this idea that you talked about of kind of limiting yourself to 24 by 24, I feel like is also such a good idea just to get yourself building. Like sometimes we want to wait until we're ready for a specific project or like not build until we have everything we want. So just give yourself a limitation like that. Like I'm only going to build on the 16 by 16 plate and see where it takes you. Awesome. Great conversation. Thanks for y'all for sharing with all your thoughts and answers. And I think are we ready to play a game? That sounds fun, right?
Oh yeah.
I am here for the games, especially because I'm not a contestant. I am hosting, so
Uh,
it is time now for Guess That Part. For this game, I have a few specific Lego parts in mind. I'm going to provide up to 4 clues for both of you, and the first person to guess the part will win that round. Now, you only get 1 guess per clue, so be thinking of that. But it's not 1 per part
Per part.
entity.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Okay.
so without further ado, I guess we should introduce your buzzer sounds. So,
Oh,
Clay,
yes.
this will be your sound.
Hey!
And Adnan, this is yours. There it is. All right. Well, I went with a theme with these parts. That theme I'm
Ooh.
going to give you a heads up is poor NPU usage. Okay. That's just a freebie for what is to
Interesting.
come. So the first one clue is, I almost said what the part is. It's fine. It's fine. Here we go. This part was first designed for Scala in 1998, which explains its size.
Hey!
I feel like I know like the general ballpark of what it could be, thinking of Scala versus what's still used, but there's a lot of options within that. I'm gonna say, oh gosh, the baguette.
It is not the baguette, but good guess. Adnan, do you want to guess anything? It's a free guess.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to think of things that are oversized in the
Mhm.
minifigure kind of category, but for some reason, umbrella is coming to mind. I doubt that's it, but
Ooh,
that's
a good one.
that's my guess.
It is not correct, but that
Ah,
that was a good one.
that
All
was
right.
actually in my short list too of what I was thinking.
Clue the second. The first recolor came in 2005, where it was used as a tan Hungarian horntail spike.
I feel like this clue is so specific that
I am
it's
very
scaring me because of how
mystified.
specific it is.
Your face is amazing. Okay. I will maintain composure here as the host of this game. That's fine. Does anyone have a guess? I can go on to clue the third.
I'm just gonna guess.
Hey!
Sure.
It's not gonna be a dragon tail, but is it the baby bottle?
It is not, but I'm loving these ideas for next time. Should be writing these down.
I'm like, that feels oversized to a minifig. I'm like, it
Baby
kind
bottle
of has
is
a point dish to like the.
Yeah.
that's a
No.
big one.
Man, that
Wow.
is. I don't know how a clue is gonna get more specific than that in the future.
Yeah, I have no idea. I actually can't even picture a horntail's like tail at this point. Is it a
Right.
club? Is it a spike?
I'm thinking spike, but I don't know either.
All right. I'll give you clue number 3 because they do get easier and like more clear as they go.
That was pretty clear, but going.
With only one connection point, this has been used in everything from architecture to botanicals.
Oh wow.
With only one connection point, this has been used in everything from architecture to botanicals. I shouldn't emphasize everything.
Hey!
Oh, okay.
I don't know the exact name of this part, but it's like an axe blade that has a clip connection.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm. No, but
Oh,
that
and
was
that
a
probably
beautiful
wouldn't be a
guess.
Scala originally, now that I'm thinking
No,
of that out loud.
I don't think they had many weapons in
Yeah,
Scala.
probably not now
A
that I say it.
dollhouse line for girls. You know.
I'll buzz in. Is it a dish? A plate?
No, but that's another good
That's a
one.
good one. I bet that was.
Okay, get your buzzers ready because
Okay.
this one will take us there. Are you ready? Are you
Okay.
ready?
Yeah.
While yellow is the most common color, there have been 13 other colors. Large, yellow, Scala, botanicals. Oh, guys, don't look at me like that. I tried real hard on this. I can see your minds are
Wait.
starting to slip.
Wait.
You don't find this appealing?
Hey!
This is also going to be wrong. The paddle, like from an oar, that is used as pedals in a lot of botanicals.
Nope.
Dang it.
I can see that this is not an appealing clue to you and that we're slipping on the ideas.
Well, yellow, I'm like, that's what I was thinking of, the yellow petals in a botanic. like in the botanicals.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
Is it a flower?
It's used as a flower, but it's not a flower.
Oh, yeah,
Now
that's got
this
2
just is the
connection
free
points
for all
as
of
well.
clues where you just
Yeah,
start
just
describing
keep
things to
going.
us and we just
Yeah.
start going.
I should ask my minion for help on this because
Have we ever had one where no one got it?
guys, I'm throwing you so many clue
When the
puns and
host
you're
gets
not
the
even
point
catching it.
instead?
Yeah, I feel like I'm no closer than I was right in the beginning. I'm still thinking of core NPU and like, how does that work into this?
Well, I feel like every clue is conflicting in my head because Scala, I'm like, oh, it's got to be a minifig accessory. And then that also kind of aligns with botanicals because they always use some type of minifig, hat, weapon, something in MPU. But then when it gets to oversized,
Uh-huh. Do you want me to give you my other bonus clues?
yeah, I
Sure.
think we need
Split,
them.
appealing, minions.
Hey!
Yes, go ahead, Clay.
It has to be the banana.
It is the banana.
That's embarrassing. Haven't we done this one before too?
I don't know. We might have. I don't know. I need to go back and look at the list. Y'all were killing me.
I'm so sorry that we did not guess that.
It's okay.
Seems
It is
incredibly obvious.
the failure of
The
me.
yellow now. I'm like, ah.
The failure of me is the clue writer, apparently. So the banana has been used, I would say, cleverly for flower petals. That's one use. It's been used as the Hungarian horn, but if you look at the set, it's one older
It
Harry
has
Potter
to be
set.
bad.
It's not great. But I also mean poor, not as in like badly done, but as in like it's not been used a lot. Now I am sure everyone listening or watching is going to come back and be like, oh, but Bethany, you missed set blah blah blah. So feel free to point out the error of my ways of what I've missed, but we did do a post on this, post 2478, favorite Brick Friday, banana. So
Apparently, we did not read that post.
should we try moving on to the next one?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's see if we can
Okay.
get this one with fewer than 8 clues.
Okay. In 4 years, this part has only come in one color. In 4 years, this part has only come in one color. For those who were reading our Discord closely, we've actually talked about this recently. By the way, plug there for our Patreon. Come join our Discord because we have fun conversations about random Lego parts. Yes, go ahead.
I'm gonna guess a Mixel joint. Because
No,
that
but
is-
that you are
that is-
absolutely right.
We
one
need
of those
colors
pieces
that.
that I just wish they would recolor.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point, Lego's like, no, I'm not going to give it to you. I'm sure there's a reason, but I
Yep.
need it. Play a guess.
No, I don't think I don't.
Not
I don't
even
want to
gonna
embarrass myself further on this one. I think I'm just gonna wait for another clue.
Embarrass yourself more than
I
banana.
will also say though, in 4 years, there have been a lot of new molds introduced in the past 4 years.
There
So,
have, but
so this is a
one,
good clue, especially the single color. But like
Yeah.
my brain is spinning through all the things we've seen come out in the past few years.
okay. Well, clue 2. You don't expect it, but this part has 4 different styles of connection points. You don't expect it, but this part has 4 different styles of connection points. And as a part B, just because I'm feeling now like anxiety about how well I wrote these clues. Number 1, it's got a stud connection. It has a pin connection.
Oh.
It has a bar connection that
Oh.
like, and then the last one, if I tell you, will give it away.
I'm gonna,
Hey!
Mm-hmm.
and I think this might be newer than 4 years, but the newer 1x4 fence that has the clippable bars in it. No.
That was a beautiful guess.
I was like, I think that has 4 because it has the. Yeah. Oh well.
That's a beautiful guess, but no. Okay.
Is it a droid body?
Is it a droid bot? Ooh, that's a good one. No,
a
it is
great
not.
guess.
But that
I think
that
that has a
one.
pin connection, I think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Here we go. Clue 3. This minifig accessory first debuted in the Madrigal House of 2021, but it has no NPU uses in Lego period. So it is what it is in Lego sets. And you know what? I'll give you clue 4 because I can see that I have written this too mysteriously. Clue 4, just for funsies. This part is used on plants.
Now I just don't want to guess just to watch your face, Bethany.
I'm gonna buzz in with, like, is it a vine? The vine piece?
It is not a vine. It is a minifig accessory. So I
Oh, never
did
mind.
not read clue 3 twice. My apologies. This minifig accessory that has 4 different connection points only come in one color. First debuted in the Madrigal House of 2021 and has never been used as an NPU use. I actually went and looked them all up.
Wow.
And it's used with plants.
Man,
I'm going to get a drink of water while you all are
right.
thinking.
While we think about it, I have this set too, and I'm thinking of the tree that's outside, and that's the only plant that I can really think of, and I can't imagine one with multiple connection points.
Are either of you thirsty? Because I can get some more water.
Oh, now she's giving us even more clues.
I'm not going to actually drink now.
Is it a watering can?
It is a watering can. We have our first winner.
So smart.
Okay.
Wait, that
We did
really
just
came
discuss
out in
it.
that set?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is shocking.
Yeah, I did not think it was going to be that. I think because I feel like it's been around since longer than that.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if it's a new mold. Like, you know how
possibly.
they update a mold ever so slightly, but it's a big deal. It has only ever appeared in lime.
Green. Yeah.
Yes, lime green. But that is about to change because the new Animal Crossing sets, it's coming out in one of the grays, which
is a useful color.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
might then therefore be NPU, but it is always a watering can whenever it shows up in a Lego set. Always.
Interesting, especially with all those connection points. You think there'd be a way that they would have found.
Yeah.
Huh. Intriguing.
Have we done a favorite Brick Friday on it? Maybe people have used it as a mock.
Yeah,
that is an excellent question. Yes, we have, and the mocks are mind-blowing. So everyone, please, please, please go check out post 2331. The favorite Brick Friday, the watering can. Someone on the team did this incredible animation on it where it like zooms and spins around and shows you all 4 connection points. So the minifig hand has the bar, you've got the pin for the water, you've got the stud on the bottom, and then you have the bar handle little knobby things on the side that people have used those in NPU ways.
So the well-known bar handle little knobby thing, one of my favorite connection points.
Right? Standard classic. This was part of the, I'm blanking on the name. What's the name of the group that does the amazing part roundups?
Is that Ironforge?
Yes. This was featured in Ironforge, and like, oh my goodness, there's so many amazing things they did with this. So
very cool. And good
definitely
job, Adnan.
Well, thank you.
Do we have time for one more?
We gotta try again. We gotta see if we can get this more than you just having to come up with on the spot clues.
I'm getting indigestion from anxiety. Okay, here we go. For winner takes all. Further, unless if Clay gets it wrong, then Adnan definitely wins. Winner takes all. This piece has 2 connection styles: stud and minifig hand, meaning like the minifig hand can grab it. This piece has 2 connection styles: a stud.
Hey!
Yes.
Oh, this is already wrong. I was going to say my favorite, bar with stud, which I feel like I use all the time, but that has an anti-stud underneath the stud as well, so it can't be that.
No. Adnan, do you want to take a guess? I see the wheels turning.
I mean, I would have guessed a bar with angled stud with angled bar, which is like, it doesn't have the anti-stud, but I don't know if that's correct.
Okay. It is not. But here we go. Number 2. This piece is only used once as NPU in a set. Otherwise, it is what it is. Appearing in a sand green botanical. This piece is only used once as NPU in a set. Appearing in a sand green botanical.
Now my brain's just running through the succulents, particularly, trying to see if I can identify.
I'm looking at one right now on my desk.
And it's a It's a bar and a stud. Like when you say minifig hand, you mean the minifig hand can
minifig
grasp
hand
the
can grasp
bar.
it. So
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
it's so, but don't think it's like sticking out as a bar.
yeah.
Meaning
Yeah.
it's
There's something graspable.
yes, that's why I tried to say minifig hand.
Yeah, yeah. Dang. The only succulent with sand green that I can think of. I got nothing on this one. I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
okay.
gonna
Yeah,
pass.
me too.
The
This is so
silence
fun.
the silence
stumped.
is
This
oh,
is so good.
this was not supposed to be stumped the guest.
No, we're starting, at the advanced setting for this
Oh,
season.
I'm so sorry. Okay. Stickers are often used as decals to spruce up the 9 colors because minifigs like to decorate them. Stickers are often used as decals to spruce up the 9 colors because minifigs like to decorate them. And mini dolls.
Of course. Sand green, botanicals, minifig. Wait, no.
I'll buzz in. Is it a shield by any chance?
It is not a shield.
Oh, what
It
a
is
good guess.
not a shield.
That doesn't have a stud though. Like
Oh,
completely,
yeah.
completely random
Yeah.
guess, but it's I don't think we put stickers on them. They're usually printed.
Yeah. Okay. Here comes the last one, and this will hopefully, I said that last time, but I don't know. This will hopefully make it easy. This part appears in Surfing Dogs and Bluey's Beach Trip. Surfing Dogs, Beach Trip. It was in a Moana set. Nope. Okay. Come back next time, listeners.
Now I'm thinking animal, especially with Moana. But wait,
minifig accessory. Come back next time where we play Stump Everyone.
Okay, I'll buzz in again. Is it the piece that Clay mentioned earlier, the ore, which has some studs on it, I think?
It is not that one. No. Because you use this one when you're at the beach surfing.
Hey!
It's a surfboard.
There we go.
Is it a surfboard, literally?
It's a surfboard.
Okay.
It's a surfboard.
Because a minifig can grasp the edge of it. That's why I'm sitting here, everything in my mind, even though you told us not to. I'm still thinking of bar.
And a sand green one makes a perfect plant piece. So.
Yep, 100%.
Yes. So
I think our brains were just a little slow today.
You guys were like in super advanced mode, and I'm like banana, and you're like, what about this fence from this obscure set?
We apparently think the exact same way. We didn't get any of them until she gave us a literal word out of it.
Yep.
Water. Can. Surfboard.
Banana. Well.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not even going to try the fourth one, but that was fun. Thanks everyone for playing.
Thank you.
If you want to see the surfboard from our favorite Brick Friday post, it is 2520. And what I found interesting about this, now granted, on Bricklink, when you put in a part number, it doesn't always, it doesn't pull up if anything's been printed on it, like printed from Lego. But when I typed in surfboard, I didn't see any others. I don't think this has ever had a print on it. There's tons of stickers. They've done lots of sticker variations. But
I feel like a CMF has come with a printed surfboard, but I could definitely be wrong.
I feel like it ought to be printed, but I couldn't find it. So once again, if anyone listening wants to prove me wrong, I am curious because I did my hunting. But this even appears, by the way, inside the new Star Wars Dark Falcon, the one with Darth Jar Jar, and it is used as a surfboard inside the interior.
Of course it is.
Everywhere it's used as a surfboard. So, I am seeing someone who's behind the scenes just texted and said that Batman has a printed surfboard. So now I got to go back and look. But notice that wasn't one of the clues because I didn't want to risk.
Right.
So,
Well, and I really
yeah.
can't be the person to fact check you, and apparently I know nothing about Lego parts. So I trust and believe everything that you have said.
Well, awesome. And on that note, thanks for playing guest with us. Normally
Hopefully you
we
did better at home than we did on air.
Yeah, this whole segment will just be people screaming the same part over and over again for
I could
5
just
minutes until we get there.
Banana!
I can just see my friend in her car being like, "What?"
Yep.
Oh, well, without further ado, let's move on.
All right. Well, this week I'm
Cool.
hosting the question of the week. And as much as I want to just continue doing guess the part and just flip this on you, Bethany, we actually did prepare a question of the week. So I guess we'll dig into it.
Okay.
But every week we have some type of question related to the Lego hobby that we want to answer together. And today we're talking about Lego throughout the years. There are many AFOLs who are new to the hobby. There are others who have been collecting, maybe your entire lives or for decades. And a lot of those of us who have been collecting for a while will often talk about, back in my day, Lego was X, Y, and Z. Oftentimes there's, a complaint or a commentary on where Lego is now. On the other hand, there's lots of us who love getting those new recolors and molds. And Non, you're even talking about, like, hopefully they'll put some of these in colors or some of the new parts that are useful to you and your mocks as well. So, kind of boiling all of this down into one question, we're asking, are Lego sets getting better over time? So, I'm going to throw it to you first, Adnan. What do you think? What's your thoughts on this question?
Well, I do think it's improving, obviously, in certain ways. You get much more specialized parts these days. You get a wider group of colors. Lego itself, I feel, is just more accessible because, you know, 20 or 30 years ago, it was still somewhat of a premium product. It was not stocked everywhere. And people didn't have, I think, as much awareness of the set came out that I might be interested in. And certainly as adults, Lego has very consciously, I feel, moved from being a toy company to a company that makes sophisticated models for adults and almost excludes children from the equation for certain products. So I feel like it's improved in a lot of ways in terms of display value, in terms of IPs. There's more IPs with Lego than ever before. And so they're able to create more culturally familiar or popular sets. So I think all of those things are great. However, with a big however there, I do also feel that the Lego that I grew up with encouraged a whole different form of imagination and creativity because the pieces were so limited and because the parts were so basic. They were a lot more reconfigurable. You could buy a spaceship and make a giraffe out of it. If you buy a giraffe today, you might be a little more challenged to create something other than what it was designed for. And clearly, Lego is also challenging this with its 3-in-1 and alternate builds for Dreams products. So that element is still there. However, I feel it's been minimized to a certain degree. And as sets get much more specific and as parts get much more specific, your options for reconfiguring them become a little bit more limited. And in that way, I feel it's a little bit of a change from what Lego used to be.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess that also begs the question, like when we ask it, who is Lego getting better for? You made some great points about adults as well. And I think that we could all agree, like Lego now, especially what you said to it being accessible, you can just find it in so many stores, like a bookstore or even a grocery store or something now.
Yeah.
But it's so like more open to builders who aren't necessarily Lego fans or didn't grow up with it. So I feel like now more than ever, it's like a hobby that, and with IPs as well, that it's trying to bring in people who may not necessarily have been Lego fans their whole lives. So it's, I mean, especially great for people who fit in that equation. What about you,
Sure.
Bethany? I know you've been a Lego fan for a while. What, like,
Yeah.
you kind of in the same ballpark?
I love this discussion. And I find it really fascinating. One of the posts, I never got to writing it, but I was doing one, is Lego getting more expensive? and
Mm.
I took all of the above $99 Star Wars sets because Star Wars is like a clear, expensive luxury line, right? Because we've got the UCS. And if you look at um, the price per part, the number of pieces, the cost of the set over time, yes, the sets are getting more expensive, but the price per part, there's going to be people who are going to be yelling at me for this, but if you look at the averages over the last 20 something years, it doesn't really change. And if anything, it goes down slightly. Now, some could argue, well, that's because we're using tiny little parts. And that's some of it. But our models are definitely getting more elaborate, but that means they're getting more expensive. We did a post, oh goodness, a year or two ago with, it was a conversation with Tiago Catarino, post 2117, where we discussed the Creator 3-in-1 sets because I've noticed in the Lego classes that I teach for kids that the number one kind of bricks that they go for are that they're bricks. Like a lot of my
Mhm.
students are building with 2x4 bricks or 1x4, your basic bricks. And again, if you chart the numbers over time, those number of classic bricks in 3-in-1 sets are like disappearing astronomically. Like the chart just
Wow.
goes zoom, nosedive. And we had some really great discussion on that post when someone from the Lego community was like, well, is that their purpose? Like, that's what the classic sets are for, right? Here's a bunch of basic bricks, go build. Here's 3 amazing models you can make and remake. So that is a long roundabout way to get to the fact I haven't answered the question, which is yes, I do like the Lego that's coming out now. I think that they're harnessing the interesting pieces more. You can see that those basic pieces are disappearing, and it's not that that's bad. I think that Lego is coming into its own as an art form. I like beautiful Lego sets, ones that I want to look at on my shelf, not just ones that are well, I'll show you. For those listening, I am holding up a hey hey, and the color gradients on this hey hey is just absolutely incredible. Like to me, even though this is a chicken, rooster, creature thing, even though it's a hey hey, it's still really gorgeous and really beautiful. With like the color composition and the shaping. So I'm I'm a big fan of where sets have come from. We were at and then last thing, and then I'll punt it back to you. We were at our local brick shop, and they had a used set for sale, the original Lord of the Rings one with Galadriel and Elrond and
Oh,
the Witch
wow.
King. And like it was 10% off, and half of me is kicking it for not getting it because like for once it was on sale. But I was drawn to it because I was like, oh, this is really cool. But then I was like, I already have Rivendell. And like Rivendell is
Mhm.
gorgeous. And while the set was nice, like I'm getting it for nostalgia, not for beauty, because like there were maybe 3 or 4 trees that were sparsely filled. So I think that Lego sets have come a long way. They're looking really beautiful, but at the same time, that nostalgia button, it gets hit for
Yep.
me at times, and I fall for it.
For sure. And another element of that kind of conversation about nostalgia is how Lego has even chosen to dive into it a lot. Like they'll often re-release or like spotlight themes, characters from the past.
Mhm.
But Adnan, you actually reviewed the Blacktron Renegade, correct?
I did, yes. Having that remake and even the gift with purchase earlier Blacktron set that really hit those notes. I think it's
Hmm.
as Bethany pointed out, it's also Lego coming into its own and recognizing its own impact towards
Hmm.
pop culture. I mean, they've released an upscale minifigure and things that are Lego uh, derived, and I feel that
Yeah.
that's an amazing accomplishment in itself. It means that there's a audience that is suitably impressed with Lego over the years, and it's true. It's as a company, it's really come a long way. It's one of those examples of countries that have been organizations that have been around for many years and spawned things that will strike a nostalgic chord whether you're 50 or whether you're 15, which is really impressive. There's very few other companies that I know that have that repertoire that they can pull from.
Mhm.
That's so true.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a question that I don't think I have an answer for either. Like I feel like we've all kind of danced around like, well, here's the things that are getting better, and here's where we could maybe like I mean, it's hard, but I feel like if we stopped production where we are right now, I feel like I have enough molds, colors, things that we can like recreate and reinvent forever. So I'm very grateful with how far we've come, but I also know that like we're going to continue to get really cool molds and things that will also be useful and kind of reinvent what we've done before.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I mean, it's a cop out because I don't have a true answer for this. I'm like, I love Lego. I'm so happy with where it's come. And where sometimes I'm like, oh well, here's this set that's super specific in IP I don't care about. I'm like, I don't really care. It's not like it's like there's such a limited number of sets they can produce every year. It's ending up taking away from something I want. So I'm like, you know what? Do what you want to. Bring in different audiences, different IPs, big sets, detailed sets. Like, I'm happy with the direction of where Lego is personally.
I will say, the one thing, and I don't think there's a single person out here that's going to be like, nah, no, I don't struggle with that. Is as the sets get more detailed, they're getting more expensive. Like
Oh yeah.
we just released as of the recording for today the new bonsai 3-in-1 bonsai, and I could buy a big bonsai for the cost of these three small ones, and like I love that the builds and the sets are becoming more lifelike and amazing. But as a parent buying for my kids, as a collector and fan of the hobby, like we're having to be like, no, you get one for a long time and that's it. And that's really hard because I want to be like, yeah, sure, throw that in the cart. But adulting and groceries somehow take precedence.
Lego groceries. Yeah.
Food, sustenance,
Well,
Lego.
and I mean, though, to that point, that is something that I struggle with is how many sets are released.
Mm,
Like, before, I could go like, there's no sets I want this month or this quarter even. But like, there's every new wave of something. There's like at least one set I want in it because I feel like there's so many themes and so
mm,
many things coming out that it's very difficult to now have to pick and choose the few that you can select.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think the options are obviously, growing and growing and growing. But, I'll relate a story that uh, for me was really important because, I was online on Rebrickable and I saw this model of a card that I thought was really amazing. So I purchased it and I built it. And I was amazed as I built it, even though it was a great looking model, it had an amazing display value, it had great functions and features, but the design of it was all just mostly plate stacking. And I was surprised. I was so shocked to find
Mm,
that I was just putting, plates one on top of the other, and all of a sudden I had this beautiful looking car. And I mentioned to the designer of the model, I was like, wow, I'm so amazed that you managed to pull this off with no specialized pieces. And he
mm,
told me, well, that is how I grew up playing with Lego. I would just stack basic plates and I build whatever I want, and that's still just kind of how I build. So I do feel that there's an argument there that, Clay, as you
mm,
pointed out, there's more options now, but
Mhm.
even with very limited options, Lego can be, extremely impressive. It can have like beautiful techniques and amazing display value. It's really about just kind of how you're using it and how you're reconfiguring it or reimagining it.
Mhm.
I remember being a kid and not having any SNOT bricks and just being um,
Oh.
very frustrated while building because
I
I think
bet.
I could
Yeah.
see it in my head that, oh, there could just be this piece. All you need is a
Hmm.
stud right there. And
Mm.
now that we live in the SNOT, uh,
Were you
you
gonna
know,
say Snot World?
SNOT world, yeah, now that we live in SNOT world, it's very easy. It's easier to get
Yeah.
exactly the configuration you want and
Mhm.
build in a lot with a lot more freedom. So uh, I'm not saying one is better or worse, but it's just worth keeping in mind that at one point when we had very restricted options, I feel people had to be more creative with them.
Mm,
So
Yeah.
just bringing that up again.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a fun balance, with using what already exists. And like you said, like you could imagine the snot brick. Like this is such an achievable thing. So it is exciting on the one hand to see what new molds will be able to help us do those slight adjustments that we can't quite do with current things. And then also where we can play around and kind of use existing molds to do what we're reaching for. I do want to ask one last question, just out of curiosity, and that is thinking of like the Eldorado Fortress or the Blacktron Renegade, where Lego has kind of reached into the archive and kind of re-envisioned a new set. Do y'all have a retro set that you would love for Lego to like reintroduce?
Ooh.
I don't know if I have a specific set, but Paradisa is the theme that I keep waiting for Lego to dig back into. And we did get those minifigs in the minifigure dispenser. So that
Yep.
was exciting. I'm like, hey, they're acknowledging Paradisa, but I would love like one of those big beachside sets. I guess this Andrea's Mansion set is like kind of giving Paradisa in a way, but I would love to see that like a set from that theme kind of reinvented, especially with the colors that we now have in Lego form.
Is there a
Mm.
particular set that you're thinking of?
There was one that had like I believe it was a big clear dome pieces that I always wanted as a kid. It was like one of the flagship sets, like the biggest one. I think it had some clear parts into maybe a mansion or a home and then like a pool in front of it.
Oh, cool.
So a big set that they could recreate and have like a deep pool and some of those new window pieces. I feel like there's so much that could be done with Paradisa now.
Mm.
Any
Yeah.
retro sets y'all would love to see recreated or re-envisioned?
You know, I, me personally, it's a very easy choice, but it's also one that I'm fairly certain Lego is going to produce, seeing as how they've already revived the Galaxy Explorer and the Blacktron Renegade. So my pick would actually be Space Police. They had this amazing Space Police cruiser that had light and sound back in the day. You know, we're talking about the 1980s.
Yeah.
I'd love to see what they did with that with modern Lego pieces and potentially even include, light and sound back into the mix. I feel it's something that's really been missing from
Yeah,
Lego models for like many years now.
that would be cool to like we've seen sound bricks with Transformers and Harry Potter. Well, and
Yep.
even that retro radio too.
Yep.
But it would be kind of cool to see like sound effects designed for play in that way would be very cool. Anything from you, Bethany?
I would love to see some more Lord of the Rings vignettes. So
Oh,
not necessarily so more along like the gift with purchase size up to the Book Nook size. Um,
hmm
that was a strength of the previous iterations. They were smaller, playable, but that meant affordable.
Oh yeah.
um, and so I am loving, we're huge Lord of the Rings fans in our house. I'm loving the mega builds, but I would love to see some of the silly ones like
hmm
the like the barrel scene from Lake Town. Like that
hmm
would just be fun, especially if they tip into the Hobbit a little bit, which I don't think will happen, but
Yeah.
I
I
can
think
hope.
we all want play scale Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Affordable Lord of the Rings one day.
right. Yes.
Well, thank y'all for sharing your answers to the question of the week. And we always want to hear what people are thinking too. Are Lego sets getting better with time?
Mm.
I can't wait to hear what y'all think as well.
Well, that is all we have for today's episode of the Tips and Bricks podcast. Thank you both for being with us here today. Like, this was fun. I have missed this. I'm so glad we could
Yes.
do this. So, do you have any final thoughts or projects you want to discuss with us, Adnan? Do you have maybe a hint of future album covers to come?
All I can share is that got alternative metal coming up next.
Oh,
And since I'm on the streak of maybe the last 100 albums of this project, I would be really interested to hear what from everyone, what albums I haven't done yet that they'd love to see. And I'd love to try and create as many of them, recreate as many of them as I can over the next few months.
and the best way for them to reach out to you is through your Instagram.
Instagram is best. UVUPV is the Instagram account, and you can see all my work there. Uh, it's sorted by decade, and yeah, any requests you have, just shoot them my way.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. It's always a joy to talk with you. Love listening to all of your insights and everything you say. And I also will still always appreciate you making a Dolly album cover that I will say is for me. So I will claim that one as the one inspired by me. I'll take it.
I got you, Clay. It's the only country album I have ever done, and I did it because I
Really?
remember you saying Dolly was important to you.
I did
So,
not realize it was the only
Wow.
country one. Wow. Well, that makes it
Wow.
even more special.
well, thank you so much for having me, and it was absolute joy catching up. I wish my Lego brain had been more in gear for Guess Apart, but it was a lot of fun. No
Good.
regardless.
At least
Good.
we were on the same wavelength together, and it wasn't like one of us getting it in the first clue and the other one just sitting there forever. So.
Just
I feel like
overthinking banana.
I feel like I failed you all.
Well,
Not
to
at
our
all.
listeners as
So
well, I
much fun.
just want to, sorry. Um, to our listeners as well, I just want to say be sure to tune in for our next episode. We got some awesome episodes and guests planned for this season. And you can, of course, continue the conversation with us at Tips and Bricks on Instagram, on YouTube
Woot
now,
woot.
and also join us on Patreon, which you can find the link to in our podcast description.
So, if you enjoyed today's episode, please, please, please also rate us and review us on your favorite podcast app. Leaving a review helps listeners like you find us. We would be very grateful. And Adnan's waving at me with something he's dying to say. Yes, Adnan.
Oh, I was
Just
just
5 stars.
telling
Oh,
our readers to
5 stars.
give us
Why,
5 stars.
yes.
Yeah.
5 stars, everyone. Pow, pow, pow. 2 more stars. Pow, pow. Please do rate and review us and come join us on YouTube. Like and subscribe because we're trying to build that because like my family watches podcasts and we would love to make this all the more accessible. So until next time, I'm Bethany with Clay and Adnan signing off. Happy building, everyone.